texting and mobile portals for training on the go. So, obviously, all of us are kind of facing a challenge here with incorporating or how to best incorporate the device that everybody has in their hands nowadays, right? And so, this training on the go, we really specialize in working with companies and organizations that have what we call a distributed workforce, which is just a really fancy way of saying those folks that aren't necessarily sitting at a desk all day. So, medical employees, nurses, doctors, any kind of staff that has technicians that are out and about, maintenance folks, etc. Lots of people in kind of the power supply industry or any kind of construction, etc. So those employees that again aren't sitting at a desk all day, how do we start engaging with them, utilizing their mobile devices as a primary means of communications and training? Because all of these folks are obviously going to be on their phones. And if you have kind of hesitation with it, is, sometimes we get some feedback of, I don't necessarily want them on their phones, but I can assure you, whether you want to or not, they're going to be on their phones. So we might as well start adapting and utilizing these cell phones as a part of the training program. Okay, so a little bit of homework here before we get started. A little bit about Engage by Cell. We've been in business 20 years now. We were founded in San Francisco. We're currently headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. And millions of text messages are sent through our platforms for training and job and recruiting and HR, all kinds of use cases. And then millions of folks have logged into the mobile web apps as well. And we are really big, 100% domestically based on customer service here. So it's all real human interaction. It's all real people when you need help. We don't even have a phone tree. You don't get stuck. You get real human customer support. So we always like to hit on that as well because that's becoming more and more important nowadays. But again, kind of the topic of today is how to best engage with an on-the-go workforce, right? So again, those folks that aren't sitting at their desk. And we provide two main tools to help overcome two main challenges. So, first challenge is that those folks that aren't sitting at a desk aren't necessarily checking their email all day. They're getting to it when they can. There's too many of them to call every single individual. So, how do we start engaging with them and kind of bridging that communication gap? And what we have done is built a pretty robust text messaging platform that kind of acts as that communication channel to most effectively reach that audience. So, some super common use cases with the texting that I'm going to go over today is some mass inbound kind of call to actions. For example, during the onboarding process, you can have someone scan a QR code, which we're all about to do in a second, and it will automatically text that individual back, and it will start a text messaging drip. So day one, they get a text, day five, they get a follow-up text, so on and so forth, keeping them engaged. And then a common issue that I hear all the time from trainers is we have spent so much money on this LMS system and we are struggling with getting people to engage with it or retain them in the training program. So, setting up those little drips, driving them to the LMS or to little micro learning lessons, this is super applicable with our tools. So, creating those little digestible 2 to 3 to 5 minute little micro learning lessons and easily texting them out once a week, once a month, whatever it is. And then it does have obviously a two-way communication component as well. So super important during onboarding processes because we're trying to cram a ton of training in a short window of time. And you can automate some of that follow-up, but if the individual does respond, you'll have the opportunity to have that one-on-one conversation with that individual and help them through the training process as well. So first big challenge is that engagement piece and overcoming that kind of communication gap going on because email and phone calls are not scalable or effective anymore. And so providing a text messaging platform solution to help overcome that and automating it as much as possible. The second biggie challenge that I hear trainers speak about all the time is our training resources are kind of spread out all over the place, right? So We all have our LMS, some are better than others, and we all have kind of the in-house original training content, such as training videos, the handbook, all of that kind of content that you've developed internally. Then you have all of these other little tiny pieces of training content kind of spread out all over the place. And what we've done is built a mobile web app platform that becomes kind of the centralized hub for all of those different resources. And if you aren't familiar with a mobile web app platform, I can start by kind of defining what a mobile web app platform is. So, all of us are super duper familiar with the term app, right? We all have 20, 30, 40 of them downloaded on our phone. And the technical term for that is just a native application. And we used to build native applications, and we stopped doing it quite a while ago, years ago, in fact, just because data was suggesting, and we were getting a lot of feedback from our customers that it's getting extremely difficult to get individuals to hard download an app. In fact, I just had a conversation today with a company that has a staff size of about 1,500 employees, and they have an app for their training resources, and they can't even get over 20% of their staff to download that app. And that's exactly what it is. It's a download barrier. It's a ton of friction for those employees because you got to reach out to each individual. If they have an Apple, if they have an Android, if it's not a company phone, they are hesitant to hard download anything to their device. And so what the mobile web app is it is a web-based experience that is close to a hard downloaded app as possible. So it has the look, feel, and kind of acts as a hard downloaded app experience, but it's entirely web-based. So there is no hard download required. So much less friction for the employee to access it. Scan a QR code, it pops up. They can save the web browser to their homepage so it appears like an app, but also it pairs super well with the texting, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate today is, you can have your list of employees and push out a text and say, hey, don't forget this OSHA safety training module needs to be completed by the end of the month. Click here to start. And they click that link and it can direct them straight to the mobile web app again, where you can build all kinds of amazing original content inside of it, like polls, quizzes, videos, etc. But you can also easily link out all of your existing phenomenal training resources that you have. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And I'm going to share my screen on the back end of the platform and kind of walk you through the tools here. But quick recap before I do. So, two big challenges we're going to cover and help you overcome. One is engagement, keeping people engaged and retained in the training programs by pushing out text messages, whether it's an automated drip that starts a little workflow or it can be sent anytime. You can have one-on-one conversations, create inbound call to actions to access specific training information, and then all about information accessibility and ramping it up as high as possible by utilizing the mobile web app platform as kind of your centralized hub for all of your training resources. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And I will have some time at the end for questions. So if any of you do have questions, there'll be time for you at the end. But I'm going to make this as interactive and as fun as possible for all of us. So what you're looking at here is the back end of Engage by Sales platform. So to access this platform, it's super simple. It's entirely web-based. You just go to engagebysell.com. There's a little login button, and all of your staff would have their own login credentials. So if there's 1 or 10 people on the training team that might need to go in here and access it and push out text messages to the employees or create content in the mobile web app, you can easily do so. And once logged in, this is the back end that you would see. Bunch of different tabs across the top here. The ones I'm going to focus on today is what I just mentioned, the text messaging tab, the mobile web app tab, and I will go over reporting as well. On the left side here under the text messaging, there's a bunch of different tabs for kind of the main different use cases that I just discussed. So the mass inbound, the mass outbound, scheduling some of those automated workflows. We refer to them as sequences. It's the same thing. And then the one-on-one piece. So I encourage all of you, while we get started here, to scan this QR code. And what it's going to do is populate a text into your texting app that says Max to the phone number 925-431-6822. And if you hit send on that text, you will get a text message back real quickly saying, "Thank you for texting company ABC. We will keep you up to date on all important training information and announcements." Okay. And I'll give it about 30 seconds here. But what this is it's encouraging you or encouraging your staff rather, and giving you as the trainer a very simple and easy call to action to encourage all of your staff to participate in the texting, right? So imagine you're training during the onboarding, or you're having some in-person training, or send out training information. Always have that QR code. If it's my first day and I'm signed up to work at your organization, you say, "Hey, scan this QR code for me because we're going to use texting for important training information as we get going here, and then continued kind of support as you start your job." So, what we all just texted into is considered this primary keyword. Again, kind of what its purpose is and what it does is, one, it gives you that call to action to encourage the staff to participate in the texting program here. Two, it'll automatically text the recipient back, identifying the organization and kind of the purpose of why I'm texting in. Hey, we're going to help get you trained up and keep you up to speed using text messaging. And then three, and most importantly, if we click that little see subscribers, there's all of our phone numbers. So it's capturing those folks' phone numbers and helping you build that database of employees that you can start engaging with. Okay. So down below the primary keyword, we've got secondary keywords. And what these do is gives you a really easy way to create additional call to actions, perhaps for specific training modules or kind of the frequently asked questions you get about specific training aspects. A super common one that I run into all the time is for safety training or things that you kind of have to continuously do maintenance training on. So what we can do is create a little keyword here and call it safety, for example. And in this box is where you can create the response. So we can say something like, "To start the workplace safety training module, please click here." And what we're going to do, I'm going to grab this link as a little hypothetical. And we're going to pretend this link is taking us to the mobile web app or the LMS or any other web-based place that you have a training module or a resource that you want people to have access to. And we have this little shorten URL tool that you can copy and paste any existing web materials you have. And it will shorten it into an easy little bit.ly because obviously sometimes URLs are not text message friendly. And then we can hit save. And we can attach a new list to it. We can say webinar safety training. And now, for those of you who want to see what it looks like, if you want to scan this QR code or text the word safety to that same 925-431-6822 phone number, you'll get that text message back. So imagine each one of your little training modules has its own little call to action. So they know, hey, I can text in this little word and automatically receive the text message back. You know, if you set a precedence of, hey, we have to do this specific training every single month, just when you get a moment, text in that word and it'll automatically text them back to the training module or the link to the LMS that they need to complete. Now, also by attaching this little list to it, I've created a whole new list of everybody who's texted in the word safety specifically. And you can build little automations that will start a drip as soon as someone joins that list specifically. So if I text in the word safety, I'm now in that safety training drip, and 3 days later, I can get a little reminder. A week later, I can get another little reminder text, etc., and keeping them engaged and retained in that little safety training module. So that is the inbound texting there for you. The next piece is obviously we need to communicate with our staff more effectively, again, because email is not as effective as it once was, especially for that workforce that's on the go constantly, not sitting at a desk all day. They're getting to email when they can, right? And so texting, pushing them out to them is really kind of the means. And phone calls, I know all of you are super busy as trainers. It's not super scalable. Even if you have more than 20 people, I can't imagine sitting down and trying to call 20 people at once, trying to get them to participate in whatever training and tracking all that. Right. So texting really kind of fills that gap. So on the outbound simple text here, we can create an easy text message to push out, and I can show you some of the automations. And again, just keeping people engaged and retained in the program. And again, I said it earlier, but for those of you who've joined late, we have all spent so much money on an LMS, right? And the challenge is just keeping them engaged and retained into it, and driving traffic to that LMS is paramount to it succeeding, right? So we can set up a little weekly push here, and we can say LMS weekly reminder push, and we can create a text here in this box that says, hi. And we have these little personalization tokens that will actually populate each employee's first name. We highly recommend doing that, especially with internal use cases, because it makes them recognize that it's addressing them by their first name, much more higher likelihood that they're going to keep engaging with it if it's addressing them by their first name. Um, so we can say, hi, first name. I'm going to leave it blank because obviously I don't have any of your first names in here. Hi, please don't forget to complete the training modules for March in the LMS. To start, please click here. And again, just like before, we can include a little clickable link in that text message, driving them to the LMS or again, any other web-based resource. Perhaps it's the mobile web app that I'm about to show you. But so we've got our text message created here, a little preview of it on the right side. Step 2 is choose where you want it to go. So in our system, you can have as many different lists as you want. I'm sure you're already breaking down the staff into a lot of different buckets here because different departments need different training, different locations, different time zones, different kind of roles within the organization, admin, maintenance, technician, etc., all over the board. So you can have all of those different folks broken down into different lists. And I'll choose the list that we're all on right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule this because I want it to go out weekly and drive traffic to my training resources here. I can set it up so that every single Thursday at, 10 a.m., whatever time you'd like, you can set that text message up and hit save. And every single Thursday of every single week at 10 a.m., your staff are going to get these little nudges encouraging them to keep going to the LMS or keep participating in your training programs. This is obviously super applicable to micro learning lessons as well. So I can do a little micro learning lesson example for you. So we can have micro learning push March 18th, and we can say, please take 5 minutes to complete this training on leadership by the end of week. Watch the short video and complete the assessment here. And again, you could include a link to the mobile web app or whatever platform you would like there. And I'm just going to include that little link. And then I would choose my list. And then if you want to hit send and start that now, I'm going to hit send. And all of us just got our text message. Got mine that texted in earlier. And now you have this little micro learning drip that has been pushed out. So that is the outbound there. This add manage sequence is where you can build your workflows kind of based on timeframes. So this is a little example, and you can have as many different workflows as you want. But in this example, it's day one. Let's say you're onboarding a new employee and you need to get them trained up. So on day one, they're going to receive this text that says, "Welcome to training. Please click here to view the training overview." And that link can take them to maybe the syllabus or an outline of what the upcoming week or two is going to look like. And then day two, they've gone through so much material already, time for a refresher. And then at the end of the week, congratulations on completing your first week. Please click here to complete a survey to tell us how it's going so you can get some of that feedback. Always trying to improve our training programs, etc. But point being is you can create as many different little sequences or workflows for all of these. I see a lot of our clients build these for little micro learning lessons. So you can set it. So for the next 6 months, here's the micro learning lesson drip that's going to happen for each employee. And they can be set on each individual's little schedule here. So if I started, a month ago, I'm going to be already a month into the drip. And then if you onboard a new customer, or a new employee, they're going to have their own little drip going in that sequence independent of mine. Okay. So those are kind of the mass outbound use cases here. And just so you're aware, you can send photo messages as well. So if you wanted to send a picture for like a training program or an upcoming in-person training or whatever it is, it's just like you were texting a photo to your friend. Okay. And then the final little piece here with the texting is the conversation tab. So what this does, it enables you to have one-on-one conversations with folks. So I'm going to pretend I just got my little micro learning lesson text message about the uh, leadership training, and I can see, hey, Max received that text there, and I'm going to respond to it and say, I didn't think I needed to do the leadership training. And so you'll see this text come in here shortly. There it is. So Max responded to that and say, "Hi, Max. This training is mandatory for all staff." Spell check myself there. There we go. And hit send. And so you can have these long format conversations with individuals if you'd like. Now, sometimes obviously this is difficult to scale. So if you do you offer one-on-one training? I would be happy to meet with you. So, first question I get asked is about this is how is this scalable? I don't necessarily know if I want it to be two-way. If I've got 10,000 employees, we can set it up so it's kind of departmental, or we can also set it up so it'll automatically send somebody a default text. So if they do text in, it says, "Hey, if you need immediate assistance, please call this phone number," or something along those lines, right? And then also, how do I know someone is in this queue? So you can put your email and or your phone number in there, and it will actually send the training manager or whomever an alert when someone is in this queue so that they can jump in and actually respond and help that individual. Okay. So last little bit with texting, manage lists and manage subscribers. Again, you can have as many different lists as you want, broken down by department or job role, etc. You can rename them, see how many workflows or scheduled text messages are attached to those lists, how many folks are inside of them. And then you can easily upload lists of people or staff to these as well. So obviously, if you already have all of your employees' contact information and you want to upload them in here, super simple. It's just an upload subscribers button, an Excel file, column A, B, and C, first name, last name, phone number, and you can add additional identifiers like job role, department, employee ID number, whatever you want to add if you want to as well, and hit OK, and it will migrate all those contacts into the system. So again, big use cases here. We have to engage with our staff better. Texting is much more efficient, much faster than trying to phone call or call everyone and email everyone. So kind of leads the charge and bridges that communication gap for you through mass texting, setting up workflows, onboarding processes, those inbound kind of call to actions to create organic information access points for people to kind of self-serve training resources and just keeping them engaged and retained in your training programs. The next little bit here is the mobile web app platform. And again, big challenge here is we have so much training content all over the place. We've got our LMS, we've got training videos, we've got this, that, we've got forms, assessments we need to get out. And some of them might be paper still, some of them are on 5 different websites, or we haven't had a great way to make them super accessible and mobile friendly yet. This is the solution for you. Okay, so what this is, it's a mobile web app platform. No hard download required, so it's very frictionless to access for people. It's entirely web-based, so you can easily include a little clickable URL, text it out, and no IT required to build these out. And I'll show you what it looks like here shortly. And three, they're really fast. So if you want to build a little micro learning lesson with a quick little short video, quick little 5-question assessment, and text it out to 1,000 people, you can do that in 5 minutes or less. Okay. So, couple of things here. This navigation tab, this is how you control the home screen of your mobile web app. And I'll pull this QR code up for you real quick. So if you want to scan this QR code and just kind of get the feel, and again, this is a demo one, so it's very kind of rudimentary, but you'll get the idea, and I'll kind of run through everything here with you. But imagine these little home icons on here. Again, you can easily link out existing resources. So this icon could take you to your LMS. This one could be your training syllabus. This could be assessments, all the different little bits and pieces. You can have videos, etc. Some of the content type, you can have original content in here. Poll, survey, quiz, video, audio file, text, any file type. So PDF, PowerPoint, Word doc, Excel file, you name it. You can build comment boards, fillable PDFs, actually. So you can have all kinds of resources that you can easily create and maintain inside of these platforms. And how you do so is under this little Build Your Pages tab. And if we wanted to hypothetically say we were doing a little micro learning lesson and we wanted to have some content inside of here, I'm going to jump over to this one real quick. And so what we can do under your Build Your Pages tab is I'm going to go to a page here. And again, all of these different content and engagement icons are how you create some of this information. So if we wanted to have a micro learning lesson on OSHA training or something like that, we could grab this little text icon, drag it into the builder window and say monthly OSHA safety training. And we can center it just like we can in Microsoft Word, hit save. Live in real time, there's our little OSHA training. And if we wanted to have a little video, we can drop a video in there, and I'll go to YouTube real quick and I will grab an OSHA training. Let's go OSHA. If I can spell today, training. Here we go. And here's a little quick video on OSHA training. And I'm going to grab the link to this.
With unique programming from Mental Fitness.
Pause that because I don't want to listen to it. But we can easily embed that little YouTube video in here or embed any video you have. And now we've got our quick little 5-minute video, and then we want to have a short little assessment after that. And so we can build a quick little 5-question questionnaire, and we'll go in here, create some questions, and say, describe how to safely climb a ladder. And we'll have an open-ended question, like a paragraph. Then we'll add another one and say, should you always have a fire extinguisher? If I can spell that. And the answer is yes or no. And we can have, what is the best way to report a safety accident? We can have a multiple choice here, and we'll have a couple options for A, B, and C, and hit save. And live in real time, once again, our little micro learning lesson for our monthly OSHA safety training is here with our little video, our little assessment, and we'll grab the URL to that and go jump over to the texting. and push that out to all of our 1,000 employees. So in 5 minutes or less, you've created your micro learning lesson and pushed it out to the entire audience. So super quick and easy to kind of set up all of this content and easily distribute it to it, all of your audience there. And the last little bit is reporting because obviously accountability is super important. Training, we got to measure how effectively we're training people. If you're doing assessments of any kind or from an accountability of, hey, did Max actually complete that piece or whatever it might be. But all of these are reports specifically related to texting, how many text messages were sent, how many were received. If you embed a clickable link, did Max actually click that? Is he engaging with it, etc.? The mobile web apps, same thing, a massive amount of reports here. How many people are visiting the mobile web app? When are they visiting it? Dwell times, did they watch that video or not? Any kind of form or assessment or any kind of data gathering you're collecting, you can easily pull that report based on individual or globally as the whole organization. You can base it on time ranges, etc. And you, of course, own all of that data. We just house it and protect it, but you can extract it via Excel, PDF, or you can print it out. So, quick recap here. Two big challenges. Engagement. We got to start engaging with people and meeting them where they are. They're texting. So, kind of overcoming that engagement gap going on because phone calls and emails are not effective and scalable anymore. And then, obviously, providing a way for all of your training resources to be accessible as possible for your audience. And by doing so, creating the mobile web app and linking out all of your amazing training content already. And then obviously you can create as much original content inside of it as you would like as well. And those are kind of the big challenges that we help with. All right. Some questions here. If anybody has any questions, I know most organizations, here's a question. Most organizations start with both texting and mobile web app, but they can be purchased independently of each other, just so you're aware. It is two different tools. So if information kind of accessibility is the big challenge, you can go with the mobile web app. And we often get asked, do we integrate with any LMSs or HR systems currently? We have an open API, so we're always open to new integrations. And obviously, part of the big kind of advantage with the mobile web app, a hard integration isn't necessarily required just because if it's web-based, you can easily link it inside of the mobile web app. And launch times typically take around about 2 weeks to get everything really put together. And of course, we provide as much and unlimited training as required, and we can help you build the mobile web app platforms and help you develop kind of a launch plan. And again, it's all human customer support, so we're here to help in any way we can. But yep, launch times are really kind of dependent on how quickly you can get us content or upload content into the mobile web app. But does anybody have any other questions for me here? Any questions? Feel free to throw them in the chat window. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me today. My name is Max, and if you do have any questions or are interested in doing a pilot of the programs or want to learn about pricing or anything like that, or want to see a ton of different examples of clients and their use cases that are already live and deployed, please feel free to reach out. It's Max at Engage by Sell, and that is my direct line as well. So feel free to call or text me if that's easiest for you. But again, thank you for joining me today. And if any of you have any questions or want to learn more, please don't hesitate to reach out.